we should take a minute to talk about the other part of the beginning of this conversation, which is the modern day stresses on people and how do people get here? What's going on with people that, because life in a lot of ways is the easiest it's ever been for us, but mentally it's getting weird.
Yeah.
So what are these pressures that are weighing down on people a lot nowadays, specifically nowadays,
Yeah. And when you say nowadays, are we talking about the past 10 years?
Yeah, I'm talking about more modern times. I mean, obviously we've been a modern society for a while, but it seems like there's been an uptick in mental health illnesses. I mean, especially since COVID, but more recently, maybe since social media or something, but definitely more recent times, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
There's definitely been, I feel like there's been a climb.
Well, you feel it because it's true and the statistics prove it. I don't know. I don't know if anyone watching has read Jonathan Haidt's new book, The Anxious Generation, but he clearly outlines the data pointing to the increase of mental illness across age groups, more so in the Gen Z, millennial plus group. And I think if you took a survey of 100 people, what is the biggest modern force that is negatively impacting people's health? They will tell you social media, and not just the fact that social media is being mobilized into the cell phone that's being carried with you everywhere. That's not a secret. Again, you ask 100 people outside, probably 90 plus will tell you the same answer.
Yeah, no, there's really no escape. I was working recently with a tutoring center, and they were telling me that many of their students, so they're starting like a homeschooling style program, and they were telling me many of their students have came to them. They were public or private school kids, and now their parents have brought them over to public school because of teasing. And it's interesting because I'm sure they're not getting the shit kicked out of them. I'm sure they're not getting beaten up, but they're getting teased, verbally and whatever else. And the thing that's different from when we were kids is they can't get away from it. We left, when we teased each other in school or whatever, we'd go home and that was it. We were home with our parents, with my grandma, whatever, and we're safe. But these kids, they look on their phone, it's still there. They're still, and it's even worse. Online, it could be even more brutal.
Absolutely.
And so there's no escape from it, right?
Absolutely. And I begs the question, what percentage of this teasing was online and what percentage of it was in person?
I would bet it's more online.
Yeah.
Because people are always more, they're getting more crazy online when it's not face to face. You don't have to worry about getting hit or something.
Well, of course. I mean, you make criticizing, or if you make unleashing that kind of mean side of you anonymous and without consequence, and without you seeing the results of your damage in person,
you don't get to feel the guilt either.
Yeah. And guilt. We should talk about guilt. But yeah, I mean, if you make it this anonymous, consequenceless attack in which you don't see the damage you've caused in person and thus feel the guilt. I mean, who are people to damage people without feeling guilt? These are sociopaths, right? I mean, it can make an everyday normal person behave in this sociopathic way.
It actually
online.
Yeah. It puts you into a sociopath's box, even though you may not be one. It's probably terrible for you too.
And I'll ask you about what you mean by that in a second, but what is a sociopath? What are some hallmark features of that? It's the inability to empathize with someone, occupy their point of view. And it's a lot of people that are sociopaths that are absent of guilt. So it is much easier to act in this sociopathic manner when you're in an anonymous kind of online setting. And I mean, this could be a whole conversation. I don't know if we want to go too much deeper in this, but there's also, when you tease someone in your tribe and in your community, there's more at play as far as the tribe, the community, your parents, their parents, the other kids in the class. I mean, we humans are pro-social tribal animals. And if one of the members of this tribe is acting in a way that's not contributing positively to the tribe, that it's not just that individual that who knows if they're passive, they're beaten down, they're discouraged, but the tribe also helps kind of defend this individual. So you've also kind of plucked this person out of his like protective tribe and just put him isolated online where there's no protection at all, no consequences. It's fucking pathological, right?
Yeah.
It's bad.
What would you say a good balance to strike is? You know, we can call this a quick fire question, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But like proper balance to strike between living your life outside of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
right? And physically and mentally feeling all the consequences of your actions as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then just living your life on screen, because we all know that that's at least a little bit necessary. Like there's no getting away from it. We are, and our kids are going to have to spend some time on screens online.
Yeah. Well, I think clearly the vast majority of one's social interaction, meaningful social interaction, should be in person. Now there's other sort of, like, for instance, FaceTime is great, right? You're seeing the other person's face. Like I think FaceTime is like one of the only like pieces of technology as far as like social media and communication digitally that I'm a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Wonderful.
Still not
great.
as good as in person though, right?
Yeah,
But it's pretty good.
interacting with anonymous people in which there's no consequences to their behaviors, I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah.
I struggle to see, I struggle to see the benefit. I mean, let's turn it around. Let's say it's just constant validation. I don't think having constant validation from anonymous people online is healthy for you anyway.
No, you can
so
see
take
that
the other
with, like,
side of that coin in an extreme way. I'm not for that either.
Yeah, you can see that with influencers that are like destroying their lives, their home lives or whatever else for some more likes online and literally going insane in real time in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh my God. Yeah. And I mean, that's another problem as far as like excessive seeking of validation online for someone to feel like they are worthy of like respect or admiration or complete. I mean, this will then kind of link into like a whole talk on self-esteem.
Self-esteem, probably trauma and all
Yes.
those things, right?